Hi, Stephanie.
Hi.
I'm getting the board packet. We're recording. So
I'll be careful of what I say.
this conversation that looks like it's just between you and me is the whole world. I'm just looking for the link to the board packet online in case people can. I'm going to put it in the chat in case anybody wants to use that. Okay, there we go. There's one. How are you this morning? Between you and me and the whole world. Oh, there's Deb Rouge. Hi, Deb. We can't hear you, Deb.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. My computer has been misbehaving again. Last fall, it would just suddenly I'd be typing or whatever on it and it would just die. And I took it into Best Buy and they cleaned it up. I mean, even plugged in it would. Now it's doing the same thing when I try to use it without the adapter. So it hasn't started doing it with the being plugged in yet, but I'm kind of waiting for that to happen. It's really old. So Stephanie, when we go into closed session, how do we stay in open session? We just.
What do you, sorry, repeat that again?
So we have to keep the open session active when we go into closed session, right?
That's why we have two different Zoom meetings.
So it's just, we don't do anything. We don't cancel out or close out of open session at all. We just minimize that screen.
Well, you can leave this.
Someone has to make a motion to go into the closed session.
Okay, I'll just do that.
And then we do a roll call. And then we leave the open session and go to the new link.
Okay, so we have to have a roll call vote to go into closed session.
Right.
Go and then leave that, either minimize it or close it altogether and then reboot, go back into it through the link again to go back.
I don't think you can have two different Zoom meetings open at the same time.
Okay.
So you have to leave this one.
You have to leave it and then.
And we'll continue to record this one because this will still be, it'll be like just probably just
space.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
got it.
okay. And then when you all are done, and don't make any motions in closed session.
All right.
Remember that, but also do a roll call at the beginning of closed session. And then when you come back from closed session, then you can
Okay.
start. But if people are having a hard time getting back to this link, I think that's why Stephanie sent out the links yesterday, so that it would be easier for y'all to get in and out like that.
Right. So we just
And
go back to
hopefully-
the same link.
Right.
Okay.
And I just hope we don't have to do this very often, because it seems so much easier just to get up out of a chair and go to a different room and come back in the Lyle Shields room. And, you know, maybe the next time we have a closed session, we'll actually be in there. And
Well, I guess I never realized that you have to have a closed session to review the minutes of previous closed sessions. I mean, it's kind of like a vicious cycle, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're just, yeah. I never realized that.
it may be that other bodies don't do it that way. Like Stephanie did. I mean, I'm going to speak for you, Stephanie, because it was pretty stunning. Like she looked
Right.
for any guidance on this circumstance, and the guidance was pretty vague. And then so I said, okay, well, let's ask our attorney, and he came up with exactly the same things that Stephanie had found. So I learned, like, you know, next time just listen to Stephanie.
Okay.
So
Well, you know, I always do. I always give her the hairy eyeball, like, what am I doing, Stephanie? Please explain.
I guess I have to be slapped in the
Fake
face
it.
with it.
I'm faking it a lot of the time. I'm just acting like I know things.
Stephanie, I'm loving your house there.
Oh,
That is beautiful.
thank you.
Your fireplace and very nice. All right, well, I guess I'm ready. I do have laundry in the washer. I'm listening to go through the rinse cycle right now. So if I get up beforehand, we still have 10 minutes. I probably will go take care of it.
This is a pretty straightforward, other than the closed session, which just, you know, I'm still really nervous about because we don't do it very often, but there's not a lot of action. One thing I do want to mention at the very end, that the schedule of your meetings is, you know, probably needs to be revised again, so that because next month the 3:30 time is not going to work for people. But also we don't need to, like, the reason it's scheduled for late is that we can't get the Lyle Shields room on that day, but we don't need it anyway because we're still going to be meeting on Zoom. So people have agreed to meet at 8 o'clock in July.
Okay. Well, you know, I'm not going to be president next month.
I know.
So I'm officially really not on the board next month. So how do we even do that? I mean, I probably won't even be there because I'm no longer a member of the board after today.
And the other 4 can meet and they can have elections, as long as somebody, you know, as long as somebody agrees to be president and secretary. 4 people is still, I think, Stephanie, is it not true that 3, with the DD board, 3 is a quorum and they could vote for officers if we only had 3?
Yeah.
I think we've done that in the past a couple times, actually.
I think you're right. Like there was you're right. You're right. So yeah, that's, you know, I wish and wish and wish that you could stay, but I'm not.
Well, you know, I'm going to kind of see what happens, shakes out next month.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what else to do at this point.
Okay.
I have no idea whether there are any candidates who've applied or.
Right. Well, and we'll just keep working on it. You know, it's just a weird time for people. Like
I think a very weird time. Yeah.
Taking on anything new maybe is the problem.
Yeah. And people, I think they're so preoccupied with other things, they're just not really paying as much attention.
Yeah.
So.
I am. I am. I think it's, you know, yeah. You know, like I would not raise my hand to join another thing right now. Whether I'm truly more busy than I used to be or not, I'm not sure. I think part of it is state of mind, but anyway. But
I'm finding myself very busy lately, and I'm very concerned about Dan a lot.
Yes.
I really am. It just goes from bad to worse, and Long term, I don't
so.
know what's going to happen with him.
Well, if you have time after the meeting, it might be, if you have time to talk after the meeting, it might be good to just talk about next steps.
Okay.
Okay.
By phone. We're talking via phone.
By phone, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to go check my washer.
All right.
Right back.
Okay. God, Kim, you're just like all fancy. What the heck?
It's for you.
You did this all for me?
Yes. Obviously.
What's wrong? What's wrong? Well, why are you crying?
Aw. Hey, Stephanie, your cats don't go outside at all, do they?
Yeah.
They do. Because mine are, like one of them got in a lot of trouble the other day since he peeled the door off in order to go outside and terrorize the neighbor's dog. So
Right.
he seems to understand now that that he can't actually go outside anymore, because I opened the door for him last night or yesterday afternoon and he just looked at me like he wouldn't go out. So I think he
Well, maybe it's just
understood.
no fun if someone opens the door for you.
That's probably, see,
More fun to tear it out.
you think like a cat.
Anything bad, right?
Yes, that's right. I mean, really, cats are all about fight the power. So I guess that could be what's going on. What a pretty kitty.
Oh, she knows it too. She knows how pretty she is.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't see Kim all fancy. I was looking at a different screen.
Oh.
Oh, there she is. Oh, yes. You're looking very nice. What the
Right?
heck? This is a great day.
Good morning. Hey, Kim, how are you?
Morning, Deb. I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Good.
Morning, Annette. Mel. Okay, so we have a few people who are audio only.
It's hard to be camera ready at 7:45 in the morning,
What are you talking about, Stephanie?
except for Kim.
It's hard to be the camera ready anytime, let's face it. Morning, Sue. Oh, she's not even connected yet. There she is.
Hello.
Hi, Georgiana.
Hi, Ann.
Good morning.
Hi, Ann.
Good morning. Mark,
Hi, Mark.
hi.
Hi. So we have one person is coming in by phone. Hey, so Deb, when we get to it, when we get to public participation and agency input, I think most people, everybody who's here on Zoom has the ability to raise their hand, and we can, it's usually not such a large group that I can't pay attention to whose
Okay.
hand is raised. But if we have people who are calling in, we may just have to ask, like, this is your discretion as the chairperson. If you want to invite public participation and then people just say, I'm here, because they can't see what we're doing and they can't signal us with that gesture.
Yeah.
But I don't want to miss any kind of feedback. So.
Okay.
It looks like Sherry said in the chat that she has phoned in.
Yeah.
I see her name, so I don't
Yeah.
know if she'll be able to raise her hand.
That's
Are you
exactly.
the one who said you weren't camera ready, Kim? Was that you?
No.
You are very glam today.
I'm not really. It's only from like. And I had to go on camera with Anna, so I didn't want you guys to witness that.
It was Stephanie who said it's hard to be camera ready.
Okay.
And yet she looks quite camera ready.
Yeah. And you were the first one, right, Stephanie? Yeah.
Well, I combed my hair. It's, it's about as camera ready as I got. I combed my hair.
Okay, I think we are, as far as the board goes, just missing Dr. Kennedy at the moment. So my Fitbit just told me it's 8 o'clock. Should we proceed or wait another minute or two?
There's one person who's here by phone, and maybe this is Sherry at a 766 number. Maybe that's Sherry. So I've not seen Dr. Kennedy call in before, so I don't think that's her. But,
Okay.
so I think you're right. But we do have a quorum.
We have a quorum, so let's just proceed then, okay? So I'm going to call to order. Stephanie, roll call.
Gail Kennedy, Ann Robin.
Yes, I'm going to keep myself muted unless I'm talking because there's a dog here.
Okay. Georgiana Schuster. Georgiana?
Okay.
Georgiana, you are muted.
How's that? Is that better?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Okay, good.
Sue Suter? Sue, you are muted.
Here. Thank you.
Bruce.
Here. Okay, we have, next item is the Zoom instructions, which we all have. On page, okay, I'm going to make a motion to approve the agenda as presented. Is there a second?
I will second it. This is Georgiana. I'll second it.
Okay. Is there any discussion, corrections? Okay, all in favor of approving as presented? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the agenda is approved. Okay, item 5, citizen input, public participation. Since we have a number of people on the phone, Lynn has reminded me that it's a good idea to just let all participants know that this is where they have the opportunity to just speak out. Anybody?
So Deb, it looks like all of the participants are associated with agencies, so they'll have another opportunity.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Let's move on. President's comments. That's me for the very last month. And I have nothing in particular to talk about today. We're in a little bit of a coronavirus stalemate. Things are opening up, but not much has changed for our providers, who are more or less still on lockdown. So I'm just hoping for the day that we're able to ease up and see things begin to become more normal, although I think we're going to have a new normal, right?
Well,
I just heard a beeping. Was that somebody else's house or mine? Anyway.
I don't-
That was probably mine.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, great. So that's really it for me. We're still kind of where we were a couple months ago as far as service provision. I'm happy to see, I'll just make one more comment, that I'm really happy to see that our providers are thinking outside the box and still doing everything possible to keep our individuals that the board serves engaged as much as possible in a positive way. So thank you all for that. Okay, executive director's report. Lynn?
So I want to tell you, I really appreciate the work that the staff did. Like, this is, we just finished all of the allocation process with both boards and developing contracts, which is really requires full attention. That's a process. If you make a mistake in the contract process, it's a mistake everybody's living with for a minute. So we got through that, and then I presented this kind of overwhelming agenda, but I have been planning this for a really long time. The purpose of this agenda is to sort of, it's very information heavy. You do have a few requested actions if you choose to take them on, but my thought was there's a whole bunch of other stuff that we're involved in, that you're involved with, that I do need to give you updates on from time to time. And I thought, let's try it all at once and see what happens. So this scheme was developed before the COVID-19, emergency. So I was also, like, in the spirit of like actually keeping up with the times, I'm also grateful that the agencies indulged us with another update. We will probably have to ask them all for summaries every once in a while, but the changes are becoming more predictable as we kind of stay in this phase 3 status for a minute. So anyway, I think that we all learned a lot from their updates, and that may have an impact on the coming programs. So we'll be keeping the board apprised of changes in the scope of services in that same way. I also, there's a schedule in here that just sort of takes us to July, and then we have some dates to develop for the next full year. So at the July meeting, I think the main business will be drafts of budgets for y'all to approve. These are just drafts to look at and ask questions about and think about. And we already have a few changes to them. And also drafts of schedules for the year to come, so that, we're in July, not only will we do elections of officers, but we'll also be setting the stage for the next allocation cycle. So that's really all I have for now. And anyway, and especially thank you, Stephanie. This was not an easy board packet to put together after all the other action that she's been involved with for us, especially the contracts. So anyway, here we go.
Thank you. Okay, the board meeting minutes from the May 20th meeting are included. They start on page 4. I'm going to make a motion to approve them as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion, corrections, any input?
Well, I just want to say, again, thanks for it being so thorough. This is much more thorough than a usual board minutes, and it includes a lot of financial information, and it's presented in a form that even I felt was easy to read. So thanks for that.
Okay. All right, all in favor of approving the minutes as presented?
Aye.
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 Okay, they are approved as presented. New business, number 9. First item is an action item. There's a decision memo that begins on page 15 regarding DSC Community first May-June payment. And Lynn, could you just kind of review the ins and outs of that for all of us, just briefly?
So what we're asking for is in the contract, which we have 2 more weeks in this particular contract. There were some performance benchmarks that were established a long time ago when we first started to fund this program in this way. And those benchmarks were associated with making progress towards transforming the services away from workshop and into more community involvement. So it's still primarily based in the workshop. And when in the very beginning of our sheltering in place in response to the pandemic, the state of Illinois closed the workshops, and they're still closed. So the site is not available, like it's just not. And I think that probably is a good decision. So the problem is that the terms of the contract were developed on those, an environment that no longer exists. So the agency can't, what we used in April for the payment, we sort of did what the state has been doing and used wherever the agency was at before to develop the payment. And so we're asking if we can do that again for May and June, since if we were to apply the benchmarks that are actually in the contract, it would result in a much lower payment to the agency. And Kim is tracking data. She can only look at the data after it's been entered. So that's after the service is provided and then after someone has taken the time to enter the detailed data. But she's looking to see what kind of steps they're taking to stay in touch with the people, and there's evidence of quite a bit of phone contact and virtual involvement. I think, the questions of what happens next are really big. This is a big contract. It serves a lot of people. The state of Illinois is also asking that question with, in recognition that this is a really important group of service recipients. But for right now, just to finish out the year on this contract, our request is just to pay it at the rate that we had established based on the first 6 months, which were COVID-19 free months. So, and it's something like 98% of the total.
Okay, great. Thank you. So the motion is to approve amended payment calculation for May, June as described in this memorandum, page 16. I'm just going to make that motion.
Second.
Okay. And we are not really, well, do we need a roll call for this, Stephanie? We're talking money.
Yeah, let's go ahead
Okay.
and do a roll call. Ann Robin,
Yes.
Georgiana Schuster,
Yes.
Sue Sitter,
Yes.
Gail Kennedy,
Yes.
Deb Rush.
Yes. Motion carries. Okay. Basically, beginning on page 18 through 46, we have those agency updates that I've very briefly referenced previously. A listing of what all of our providers are doing instead of what they would typically be doing if they were living in a COVID-free world. So thank you all again for doing everything you can to keep people engaged in quality services as best as possible under the conditions that we're in. Is there, I just kind of want to open it up if anybody has questions or input about any of that information. Go ahead.
I just had a comment. I really think, based on what I'm reading here, that the agencies have really stepped outside of the box and figured out new ways to do things. And I think they are doing a wonderful job based on what I'm reading here.
I second that. They just, I think, in such a short period of time, they've been terrific.
I especially like there's all the Zoom meetings going on that I think that people are probably feeling more connected than they had before with all these Zoom meetings. I think it's great.
I have a question for the agencies that do employment. How many DSC, Community Choices, how many jobs would you say the individuals we serve have lost because of the pandemic or are on hiatus?
Hey, Sue, I think that's not a question I could answer. And I don't know if Kim could either, but Annette Becker has raised her hand. Is that okay to invite and the answer to that question? All right.
Absolutely.
Go, Annette.
This is Patty. Annette's having microphone trouble. And so I think she's going to try to call in too. She's got the video, on, but she's going to try to call in too. But I can't tell you exact numbers, but what I can tell you is there weren't very many that actually lost their jobs. There were many that were laid off. I think that there were 20 or so people that actually maintained employment during the entire pandemic. There have been lots of people called back to work in the last week to week and a half, which is a positive thing. And so that, the number of people that have been leaning on unemployment is declining. And, but I don't know, I think we can take a better look at it to find out if they resumed the same level of hours and work that they did before, or if that transition is happening slowly, or what that looks like. But I think very, very few lost their job completely as a result of the pandemic. So maybe during agency information, and it'll be connected enough with us that she can speak to that too.
Okay. I know that there are layoffs and there are furloughs, and at this moment, I still don't understand the difference between those two. Probably involves benefits of some sort, but anyway, okay.
Thanks, Patty. That I don't need to know the exact number. I just wanted to get the gist of it.
So Becca's ready to give some input
Good.
as well.
Yeah, I will actually, I'll echo what Patty said. I think we didn't have anybody who is likely to lose their job for forever. There's maybe one person who had been working at a nursing home who probably is on a more extended hiatus. We did have quite a few people who did kind of go into this kind of furlough hiatus mode on their jobs, and some of those people are starting to go back to work here in the last week or so, or upcoming in the next week or so. We had a number of people. There's a few did work at businesses where I do wonder if they are going to be able to reopen, and so there's still a little bit of unknown there. But there was quite a few people who really did, continue working at essential jobs throughout the pandemic. We don't work with quite as many people as Community Choices, so the number was probably less than 20 for us. But certainly, I can think of probably 5, 6, 7 people who really didn't affect their day-to-day hours very much. So I'm hopeful that most people will be able to get back to work.
Did people have difficulty getting unemployment insurance? Did we? Yes.
Yes and no. There was we were able to get through with a number of people. I think there was maybe one that early worked with them was having some trouble. So we're still kind of trying to figure out what that. But it, you know, I think it was a challenge as it was for everybody, but most people were eventually able to get it. I don't know if that's what your experience also was, Patty, or if you can speak to that.
For DSC, it was kind of a debacle like it was nationally initially, where there were long delays in responses and not being able to get through. But we were able to secure, I think, some unemployment benefits for people that worked part-time, which we were not sure would happen. You know, sometimes when people are working fewer hours, you don't necessarily get that benefit. But under the circumstances, they did. And the other, you know, unrelated to unemployment, but also, you know, some noticed an increase in SNAP benefits, which helped to kind of band-aid that gap too, with less income for the period of time that they've been experiencing that hardship.
And did our disabled people need to, well, you said get increased SNAP benefits, or even, I don't know, rent assistance or something like that? Did anybody have to go that route where they had to, you know, get emergency assistance for rent?
There's
or
been,
go ahead.
sorry. There's been, you know, most of the people live on in subsidized housing, and so their rent gets adjusted as their income fluctuates. So there's, you know, some benefits realized that way, but I know that there was assistance available even through RPC and other. We've had success with LIHEAP and things like that, where there were, you know, no late payments, fees for, you know, late bills, and also assistance with utilities. So it wasn't so much rent, but utility assistance was available.
That's good to hear. Good to
Mhm.
hear. It is.
So just, is it okay for me to make a comment about all of that?
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah,
just,
sure.
you know, sometimes like we have to, our priority is what's going on here in Champaign County. So occasionally I step outside of that for national association meetings or state association meetings, and, you know, or read an article and realize how really well things are going here. This group of agencies, you know, listed in the memo includes the mental health providers, but this whole group of providers really did work together, and we can boast about case managers who understand some of the new and emerging programs and who've been able to help people using, you know, by phone or through virtual platforms. That's huge. It's like there's a learning curve with every policy change, with every new program, with every new funding opportunity. And we're really this community is doing such an amazing job. And even more important, people here are pretty healthy, and there's been no outbreak in any group home. I mean, it's just different from other communities. We have been very lucky, and I think it really does have a lot to do with coordinated efforts, with people being willing to do extra meetings to work together to learn about what's happening. And anyway, I got a reminder of that yesterday on a National Association meeting, that like not everybody has this much success right now, and also health. So anyway.
Deb, I just, I had a question. Have we had any reported COVID cases in our group homes or SILAs by individuals or staff?
Not that I'm aware of. I know that in my son's circumstance, they had one or two staff members. One I know for sure, and maybe a second where the staffer had a family member with COVID, and they were immediately off duty for 14 days quarantine.
Okay.
That's the closest that I'm aware of it coming in the group homes, in IAG group homes.
And for DSC, there's been no cases. You know, there have been occasions where staff have been precautionary and tested because of various symptoms or something, and they've all been negative. But as a side note, you know, there have been in our family development program, there have been a few family cases. You know, none of the home visits are in person or anything at this point, so there hasn't been any risk to staff. But we have seen some very young children and family members through the Family Development Center that have tested positive and come through it okay, but you know, still the scare, especially it's you know, they say that it's not as common with young children, and is serious, but we've seen a few. I would say maybe 3 different families that I can think of for sure.
Okay. That's incredible that we haven't had, knock on wood, more cases. That's a compliment to staff and just everybody involved, and some luck, I think, probably.
Well, the protocol is really stringent, very stringent, unnecessary.
And
also
we're adhering to it.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for our SILAs, we've gone, you know, the shelter in place has been more restrictive than it has the community at large, which I struggle with philosophically, but also understanding.
Patty. I'm just going to interject, me too. I'm ready for visits.
Well, we did start this month. About 2 weeks ago, we sent notices to families that they could schedule brief visits, which, you know, they still have to go through the screening process, temperature taking, symptom check. Sign in kind of a form, sign off when they pick somebody up, and it's just a few hours at a time, no overnights or anything like that at this time.
Ours has been very similar too, but unfortunately for my son, that's more problematic than just not seeing him.
And there are some that are not engaging for that reason. You know, it's the all or nothing is not very easy, but it's easier than introducing a short period of time and kind of disrupting routine and you know, not being able to explain. A lot understand, but some don't, that, you know, it's not, well, why can't I see him tomorrow or the next day or the next day, or why can't I go home with mom or dad? And and we still have a few, we have one that's at home. We've had 3 or 4 people that have enjoyed extended home visits that are now transitioning back to the SILAs. And that's basically due to the state, in my opinion, an insensitivity to circumstances, because
Thank you for that, Patty.
I'm disappointed that they are, you know, forcing some returns based on funding and not based on what's best for the person.
Okay. Any other comments? All right, moving on, Disability Resource Expo update. It begins on page 47 through 54. Any comments or questions regarding that update?
I just want to commend Kim and Chandra. I'm on the Expo steering committee, and frankly, I wish I would have read this summary before the meeting yesterday, because it's a great summary, and there are a lot of things to be discussed and to figure out, and this is a really good summary. There was a comment yesterday at the meeting from about the concern of some of the individuals that we serve, like from DSC, that just a virtual expo in terms of the procedures and the whole format and everything might be really difficult for those individuals to participate in. And that's a concern of mine. Vicki, I think, from DSC had a really good suggestion yesterday to be considered, is that for individuals that either don't have access to computers or aren't comfortable with the format or want some kind of individual connection, we could maybe set up some sites or a site where there are computers available, staff available, where individuals could come in of course, with safety measures, but individuals could come in and visit it from there. And we're also talking, just, I know you've got a summary, about having, spacing the expo out over a number of days, having a topic, and we think that that might make it more available to individuals, to families and staff and individuals. Anyhow,
Glad to
thank
hear
you,
that.
Kim and
because
Chandra.
That was my biggest, when I read this whole summary, that was my biggest concern, is that really the expo is for individuals with disabilities. And in a virtual expo, anyway you slice it, is going to be more difficult for many people with disabilities to participate in, for a lot of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I immediately went to, well then, if it's not as enjoyable, as much of a learning experience, as much of a social experience, and for individuals with disabilities, then what's the point of doing it virtually?
Mm-hmm.
So to me, the idea of having it spaced out over a number of days by topic, which would make for potentially more social distancing opportunities, right? And maybe some ability for people to participate in person, you're saying?
Is that what you're talking about, to have several days of in-person expos? Small, because that,
No, it would be virtual on a topic, but one of the issues that was brought up yesterday was for individuals who the format is too difficult or just don't want to use it, that we could have available some computers and staff who would help individuals if they wanted to do it in person. I don't know whether that would be once a week or what that would look like yet.
Patty or Becca, would you guys just weigh in? Could I get an opinion from you, from our providers, about what you think would be, how valuable do you think the virtual format is for the majority of the individuals you serve? What are the caveats and the pros and cons? Sorry for the hot seat.
Go ahead, it looked like Becky.
I think that, and this is just really, this is speaking from my own experience, and just kind of anecdotally from people that I've talked to. I think a lot of the value that we get from the expo, and that when we sort of connect with people, is that ability to sort of talk to people face to face. Give them the chance to kind of understand our services and how they might work for them in particular. And so I think it really is that, like, in-person sort of vetting, like, is this the thing that it feels like I'm looking for? Do you seem like the sort of person that I could work with, like, for the family to sort of meet us and make those kind of decisions, or at least get a better idea of them than they maybe would by looking at a website or looking, or, you know, even over a phone call. So I do really worry the extent to which people might be able to get that same value from it. Having been in the steering committee meetings, it does seem like there are some interesting ways that people, have been brought up that we maybe could get a little bit of that back. But I do think that it will be quite challenging, just from the way people have talked about it, for people to use the service, and to know that even if we're there in kind of like a virtual room, like, without having sort of seen it, I do have some concerns about how easily people are going to be able to sort of access that and understand, like, I can click here and talk to a real person. Kind of when you start to layer things within a virtual setting, I think that some of the kind of and that sort of direct connection does get lost, if that makes sense. So it's sort of rambling, but I think it could be okay. I don't think it will take the place of an in-person event.
Did I see Annette with her hand raised, or was that you, Patty?
I have not raised my hand. I guess from my perspective, I think some of the beauty and the value of the expo is that people can go in a short period of time and gather a whole bunch of information, and they can pick and choose who they want to talk to, if they want to make rounds and talk to everybody, or if they want to target something and get that face-to-face communication that's sometimes, a phone call or an email is delayed information. And so it's a place for them to go and engage. And I agree. I think that person-to-person contact is probably what the main draw is. And also that it's a time frame. I can go on this day for, an hour or for 2 hours or spend the whole day, where I'm concerned that it would be more of a hit and miss. The more virtual it is, that it's going to fall off people's radars. When you were talking initially, I was thinking about two different groups. One, people that are already connected to the service system and really access it fairly easily, or good advocates for themselves. I think those are the ones that are going to participate. And I think we're going to lose the people that are a little intimidated by the system anyway. And then technology can also be intimidating, or uninterrupted time in this virtual sense, as we see in a lot of the meetings that we're having. So I was wondering about, are there some informational kind of webinars or presentations, some mini presentations or something that people could do at their leisure anytime, that maybe we could share information on targeted topics? And then I think we could facilitate that with people that receive our services, people on our waiting list. We all share people that are on all of our waiting lists or that are connected with ISCs, that maybe some kind of informational about, here's the kind of topics that we're preparing information for, and this is when it'll be available, just as some alternative ways to share information. But I agree with Becca that with losing that face-to-face contact is probably the most disappointing, I guess, component of the circumstances, and trying to do it virtually. Lynn, I'm sorry, I'll shut up.
So I can't raise my hand, Deb, because I'm the host. So I have to literally.
Go
So
ahead,
I feel kind of dorky, and I don't want to. This is a great conversation. Chandra also has her hand raised, so I want to be quick. But I just wanted to share, like, that last thread. There is there's an opportunity to start building something like that, and I think we might build it on the expo, like on the expo website and through expo social media, so that there is information available in different formats, not just block paragraphs about where the business office is and how many years we've been in business, but like different types of information that could be available all the time. But that's something we can do. We can do that anyway. We can do that whether there's an in-person expo or a virtual expo or not. I think the potential for a tool like that is huge, and we as a staff have committed to working on those projects, but that's going to take a while to build. But I think what Patty just said is exactly possible, and let's just treat that as a separate project, and we'll come back to you if we need to spend money on it. But right now we're testing it. So anyway, back to your conversation. And Chandra?
Yes, I just wanted to just make sure that we also see where we are as an expo, that we have an opportunity to actually show companies how to do this well and effective, to reach many people with different abilities. And so if we're willing and we're open to actually showing people how it can be done well, I just want to encourage people to stick with that movement, because what ends up happening is that if it's not done in the way that we feel like, oh, this would be more effective, I think once again, we're taking voice away from people who don't even, or may not be able to speak up for themselves. So are we really wanting to create opportunities and ways? And because we have people on our committee with lived experience, I've just been encouraging and keeping the committee like abreast, like we have an opportunity to show people how to do this in a way that's safe, how to do it in a way that can be effective, and talk about it from a perspective of people who are the most marginalized, that don't have access, and creating an opportunity and a bridge. To stop it just because we believe like it may not be effective, I think is unfair.
Okay.
So I'm just encouraging us to just think about an opportunity versus just like saying like, oh, it's not going to work, so don't do it at all, because people attended this event with a mind to get the ideas. And I'm not opposed to just the different ways, just as Lynn said. The important thing is that do the people who need it get the information? And if accessibility is an issue and different things, how can we as an organization inform them, here is how you do it and do it right. Here is how it needs to look. Here is what would make it accessible. And I think we're in a position to be able to negotiate that, because we have a lot of, our bottom line is definitely there.
I'm sorry, what was your last sentence, Chandra?
I said the bottom line, like we're paying a lot of money. Like
Okay.
we have resources that if we want to be their customer, like they need to do it right because we're the customer.
Right. I have a question. I breezed through a disability expo once, and I was sort of overwhelmed by all the tables there and not really knowing what, unless I stopped at each one, what each one had. And I was there as the mother of someone with intellectual disabilities, and I didn't really know what services we needed versus what services were available. I found the whole expo a little overwhelming for somebody who really doesn't really know what they need, or, you know, and I'm the mother of someone with an intellectual disability, her spokesperson, and I was overwhelmed by the expo. Just a comment on the side.
Thank you, Georgianne. There's a lot there, yes.
Mhm.
There's a lot there. And helping somebody get through the maze of services and things that are out there for them is our task, really. We would like to do that better so people can access the services that are out there.
So Georgiana, then, do you think that in your instance that there would be maybe added value in a virtual pick and choose type of format rather than an in-person large event?
There might be added value, but I think still someone would need help in winnowing through, you know, if there were lots of different events or things to tap into online, somebody needs help in getting through those, you know, just like if you're looking for a new pair of shoes, you know, you need help getting through all the stuff that presents itself online. And so it's still a chore. I mean, whether you're there in person and there's all these tables or you're online, there's still all these possibilities, and people need help we need to help people get through that easier. Because I still find it to be a maze of services, and some places both offer the same services, and how do you know which one is right for you? It's a maze, and I'm just speaking from a little bit of experience. You all probably have some experience to add to that too.
Thank you, Georgianne.
Yeah.
Deb, I think the bottom line is we have a lot more work to do on the whole subject.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sue. Yeah, it seems like, I mean, it's uncharted territory, basically, right? So, yeah.
Yes.
Can
Well,
I
thank
ask
you.
a question real quick about,
Patty, hang on a second. I just thank you for noticing that this is, I think that people have been putting a lot of extra time into these issues in the last month, just in recognition that it matters. So wherever we end up, that's really important. But I just want to say, like, people are taking it very seriously, and I appreciate this discussion. I think this adds a level that we need to bring to that. Anyway, okay. And I think Chandra has her hand up again, Doug.
I need to put my glasses back. Okay,
No,
Chandra,
I'm
go ahead.
sorry.
There you
No,
are.
I'm sorry. I didn't let it down. Let me lower it. I don't need have a question.
Oh, you don't have a question? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry
but
about
Patty
that.
did somebody else have a comment?
Patty, you guys have put in a huge amount of money, I mean, time and, well, both, into preparing for the expo. And that's really appreciated. And even just this conversation is one of the things I wondered about, how, maybe you guys have talked about it, but how school board meetings air their meetings and it happens multiple times. I mean, I wonder if you guys proceed with something, if there's some kind of WILL or PBS or TV version of some things that could be explored for those that are not interested or don't sit in front of a computer or a tablet or something. I think there's a demographic that, even though the world is evolving, it doesn't touch them, interest them, it's intimidating. And that's part of the miss with not having it in person. So I just wonder if maybe there's that TV option.
So I think that should be part of our calculations here, because we haven't talked about it, but there are a whole bunch of people with disabilities that cause, like tardive dyskinesia, like asking a person with a movement disorder to maneuver our normal Zoom world is that's really a lot. Mm-hmm. So I think if we're serious about improving access to a whole range of services, I think we do have to think about formats like what Patty's suggesting that don't demand so much of a user. Wow. So that's and I think the expo is really well connected,
right. And there's a whole world of individuals of differing abilities who tend to be very able and joyous of a outing, who would, from an attentional standpoint, not only a technical standpoint, but an attentional standpoint, have a much harder time attending to visual, especially small visual content in a virtual format. That's just my take on that. Anybody else? A lot of good discussion on that issue.
Yeah,
Sue?
just thank everybody, because you all are the experts on this. So this conversation has been very helpful.
Okay, I guess we're then ready to move on. Item D, the facilities project update, is on pages 55 and 56. Comments, questions?
So one reason to bring you this information today is from a very technical perspective. The Mental Health Board is required to do an annual report each year. The DD Board is not. And when the Mental Health Board had, it was time for their annual report, the financial report had not been delivered to us from the auditor's office quite yet. So this update is partly just to bring you a financial report from last year like just very straightforwardly. And there were some special things about last year in that the mental health board paid off the note.
Right.
And so, so there's a, there's a really big expenditure in here from last year, which you won't see again, because the houses now belong to the mental health board, with the DD board continuing to make payments for the next couple of years. So that was the main thing. And then we got this really nice report from individual advocacy group, the service provider, and it happens to describe what happened during, like, here comes shelter in place. And I think for this organization, they have a very small presence in our community. So the shifting that they had to do was very dramatic. And I am really happy to say they made it through. So this is just, it's really just an informational update with sort of a happy ending, at least for now.
I have a question or two about just the structure of this, because it's new to me. Individual advocacy group provides the services directly to the residents, and Joel Ward provides building services, like takes care of the building.
Yes,
is that's correct?
That's right. And that was, that structure was when we did the RFP process in 2014. The director at the time worked pretty closely with the county administrator, who was, and I think with attorneys too, that the property management should be handled separately, that it should be, not us, not the county, and also not the service provider. So you have that right. That's the structure.
I have that right. And these, we have two CELAs, is that correct? The intention at first was to have 4, but we right now have 2.
Right.
Is there any intention to have more? Is that something that's an intentional thing for down the road, or are we gonna just stop here?
Well, the original RFP allowed for up to 4, so the boards could choose to do that. I do think there's a need in the community. We would, if we were going in that direction, the RFP, does it has a commitment to this provider, so we would work closely with them on, whether they've got a group of people who want that, and then they would work with us to select houses. So I think if the boards want to do that, the need is there. It's a great way to meet a particular need, but it's just about money. So it would require additional investment.
I have also been told by various people that it's also a matter of the providers, finding staffing for places. Is that still an issue, finding staffing for CELAs and ICFs and everything? Yeah, yeah. So right now, IAG is the staffing, and that's going okay, but they probably would have trouble coming up with more staffing for more homes. Who knows?
I mean, in normal times, the providers are having difficulty hiring and maintaining quality staff. Staff turnover is a huge problem in normal times.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, anything else? Anybody else? Okay, item E is an update on 211, pages 67 to 79. Any questions? Okay, item F, Regional Health Plan Partnership, pages 80 to 84. We have a lot of information this month.
We do.
Questions, concerns about that particular item? Okay, then did Mark prepare this next one, the UIUC evaluation project, pages 85 to 90? When I read through that, I thought that Mark, yep. So any questions for Mark?
Yeah,
Ann?
I guess I do have a question. Given that everything is different, the evaluations will also be different. And it might be worth having a little discussion about that with the evaluation people, what their ideas are about how to proceed in this upcoming year, 18 months, 2 years, whatever it's going to be, until things get back to really more normal, or the new normal, how they're thinking about the evaluation process, how it's affecting them. So I'd just be interested to hear from the evaluation providers at some point. Not right now.
If I could, this is Mark, if I could just speak to that briefly. We had Mark Aber, doctors Mark Aber and Nicole Allen at the, I guess it would have been the May agency council meeting to provide a brief update to the agencies. And they are similar to what the providers are doing, are continuing to provide support services to the targeted agencies and any agency requesting assistance through the consultation bank through Zoom or some other similar platform. So they are continuing to work with agencies on their evaluation processes and procedures and tools, but have moved, just as providers have moved to kind of the video conferencing approach. So, but we hope to have a proposal for the July board meeting. That's generally we have something at that point, and both I would expect doctors Aber and Allen to be available at that time, and they'd be able to speak to that question, Dr. Robin, or any others that folks might have. But that's an excellent question.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
And I think it's very helpful, the fact that you are on the mental health board and have sort of been through this and have a history with it. I think your input will be very helpful too.
I would add that, and I think you're right, Sue, that Ann Robin, having been on the mental health board, she's familiar with this work and these contracts. I would add that they do an annual presentation. There's a peer-to-peer presentation at the agency council meeting. That's usually in August. But they will also have, in the past, have made presentation to the board. The evaluation team has made a presentation to the board, and that's usually at the September board meeting. So,
Okay.
So I think both the DDB and the MHB could expect to see that on their agenda for the September meeting.
Great.
Right. Next item, right? Draft CCDDB and SILA budgets are attached, pages 91 through 106. No actions requested at this time. Are there any comments, questions? Okay, item I, board direction. Anybody have any input? Okay, successes and other agency information. Any input from our providers? Successes.
Annette's hand is up and Becca's hand's up.
Oh, I'm not seeing their hands raised on here, so okay.
I see them. So
Oh.
maybe, is Annette actually connected now? That would be so great.
I think Annette's not connected, huh? Well, Becca, did you want to go first while we see about Annette?
Sure, yeah, no problem. Excuse me. I just had a quick one. So we've continued to sort of have our daily Zoom sessions, and we were excited to, this Friday, we're going to have our first partnership with CUSR to offer kind of an online game night. And so that'll be something that they're going to put out to their, I think it's to just put out generally to all of their contacts. So people can join that way. And also then we're going to put that out to all of our members. And this week, I believe we're doing charades. So it'll be kind of some breakout groups where people can then kind of act things out to let other team members guess. So we're excited about that. And it's kind of our first trial run, and we're going to see if we can kind of keep that going. And we've also been, this will be the second week that we've started to participate in the CU lockdown trivia. And so we've kind of offered that up sort of similar to our previous social opportunities, because it is engaging with the community in a virtual way. But they've had like over 100 people at this trivia that's really started as soon as the lockdown started. So that's been just a fun way to kind of see people in a different type of online setting. So just thought I'd share those quick updates.
Okay, thank you.
Becca, in reading your updates, I love how you've connected the broader community in what you're doing, and the interest from the broader community. That's exciting.
Yeah, we've been really excited and really just very glad that people have been interested, and really a lot of the feedback has been really positive from that. And a lot of, the first people that we reached out to were some folks that we've connected with in the past, and so we had a little bit of initial buy-in from that, I'll be very honest, just from partnerships we've built sort of over time, but can continue to sort of build on that and sort of offer it as a really easy way for people to kind of see who we are and get to know some of our members. It's pretty, like going to a Zoom meeting for half an hour is like, it's a really easy way to connect with other people, especially if that is something that is a little bit uncomfortable for you. And I think we all sort of have varying levels of comfort in those type of social situations. And so it's been a nice experiment and a nice way to sort of connect with the community and see how they would like to engage.
Annette? Yes, Nettie, you can hear, right? But she's not connected, right?
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. I am so sorry for the technology glitches.
It happened.
I wanted to step back to Patty's comments about getting unemployment for people. And we were able to get unemployment benefits for everybody we helped apply. The process was pretty lengthy, and just making connections with the unemployment office were pretty time consuming, but all went well. Our groups are now going virtual, and we have been doing that for several weeks. And we're really pleased with the way those have been evolving. Some of the really cool things is that people are learning how to use the technology, and we are going to start teaching people how to use that when they're not with us. So this is not just for their time with us, but they can, use it throughout their day and evening. Some of the groups that have been particularly, I think, beneficial, they're doing a lot of virtual vacations and virtual tours, beaches, museums, and I think it's giving people ideas about places they would like to visit or things they would like to do when we get back to some better sense of normal. And another one, the women's group have been researching women who have overcome adversity. And there's been a great level of discussion among the participants with that. And then we're also going to be helping people learn how to get into podcasts. Obviously, I am not leading the charge on technology, but may benefit groups myself. We do have a lot of people going back to work. And so in the community employment program is gearing back up and, helping people stay safe. And then the last thing is just that we did have the customized employment training through the LEAP program. We had 35 attendees do an online conference, and I got good feedback from it.
And that, I just have to say that that's really the fact that you're talking about museums and people doing tours of vacation spots and all kinds of that people are comfortable and interested in really learning the technology makes me feel better about the potential for a virtual expo. I mean, if the learning curve and the comfort level and the interest level is there for all of these virtual activities that you're talking about, it just kind of gives me more hope for a beneficial expo experience, maybe virtually. So, okay. Georgiana?
No.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, under old business, mini grant update begins on page 107, 108. Basically, I think what we're seeing here is that mostly, if not all, of the changes revolve around equipment or items that were approved having to be swapped for similar items because of lack of availability primarily, right? So I'm just going to make a motion to approve the, let me get the right language here. Motion to approve the request from applicant number 44 to fund request as described above. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, is there discussion? Okay, we're not really spending new money, right? So we just can do a voice vote?
Right.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, on page 109, we have Carl Foundation Property Tax Interest Update for information only. Comments?
I just hope they're doing something good with the money.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, I'll third it. Okay, CCDDB and CCMHB schedules are attached to page 112. I think there'll be some changes, right, Lynn?
This is really important to me. The July 15th meeting has been scheduled for the afternoon. That's your very next meeting. It's been scheduled for the afternoon forever because we can't get the Lyle Shields room in the morning. Well, we're going to be meeting online again in July, and some people are not available at 8 in the morning or at in the afternoon for that day. So if you are all okay with it, I'd like to move that meeting to 8 o'clock on that July 15th. It's still a week earlier than the normal cycle, but it's been listed as July 15th forever. So just asking you if it's okay to change the time to 8 a.m.
And it's a Zoom meeting, correct?
Yeah, we're still going to be, but at least in July, we'll still be online.
I'm raising my hand.
Yes, Ann.
Yeah, that's not a good
You
day for
say
me.
yes?
That is not a good day. not a good day for me. Period.
Can we?
I have other plans that whole week. And so that's not, I was originally going to be out of town. What I'm doing is it's a fundraising bicycle ride for Habitat for Humanity called the Habitat 500. I've done it. This will be my 19th consecutive year of doing this.
Wow.
It's normally in Minnesota, and I was going to be in Minnesota that week, but it's not going to be in Minnesota. Everybody's doing it from home. But I'm still signing up for it. I'm still fundraising for it. And it's a commitment that I've made for that week. So I've taken that whole week off. And I guess I didn't realize that we had a DD board meeting that week because it is off schedule. For me, I would rather not do 8 o'clock in the morning because I would, unless it's pouring rain or lightning or something, I would rather be out on the road at 8 o'clock that morning.
Well, would it be better for all to wait until July 22nd to have the meeting? I mean, I'm so sorry. This is
Well,
the only meeting that you're required by law to have is July, and it's any time in July. So
okay. Yeah, I am sorry. Normally I would never have been at that meeting, even though it's required. I would have been out of town, but
no, that's why we should be flexible to make sure that you all can have a meeting in July, and it's just finding a date is great.
Yeah, July 22 would be better for me, but not in the afternoon.
Okay. Is 8 o'clock on July 22nd good for most?
I can do it.
Okay.
This is Georgiana, and I can do it.
Okay.
I have no problem with that date.
I have a doctor's appointment. My first one scheduled in a while at 8. But there would be a quorum without me, right?
It sounds like we have 3 who can do that time.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
Oh gosh, thank you so much. I'm really glad that we started talking.
I don't know. I'm sorry to create trouble with this. I could do 3:30. I would rather do 3:30 on the 15th because I've already taken that day off from work. If that would be okay for everybody else, because we're such a small board, I don't want to have one person out. That just doesn't make sense.
Just as it's listed currently at 3:30 on the 15th?
Right, not 8 o'clock. Because I could go out, ride 50 or 60 miles and be back by 3:30.
Okay. If that's all right with all, then we'll just leave the schedule like it is.
The 15th at 3:30.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay, great.
And is that going to be in person or on Zoom?
On Zoom.
Zoom, okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure how long we'll continue on Zoom, but after July, that August meeting that's listed is very tentative. You normally don't meet in August. We just booked the date just in case. So, but we'll get there. First things first, I'm so happy that we'll have a July meeting. Yay. Good. Great, thank you all.
You got that settled.
Okay. All right, acronyms and glossary are on pages 116 to 123. Is Mark still here, just in case there's any more MHB input other than the UIUC discussion we previously had? Is there anything else?
Deb, the Mental Health Board has a very similar agenda to what the DDB has gone through today. Very information heavy, a lot of the very same topics with the exception of the
Okay, thank you, Mark.
Yep.
Okay, staff report, there's one from Chris Wilson attached. Board announcements? I have nothing.
Deb, I have an announcement and I'm trying to find it. Lynn sent out an article, an AP article that highlighted the COVID deaths in nursing homes and SODCs.
Yeah.
And it was a national article, and Ludeman Developmental Center was mentioned in the article. And there, Barb Pritchard sent out a letter that people are signing on to, that's going to the governor about suggestions on how to isolate individuals in SODCs. And you can read about it and or sign it. But let me find out the, okay.
Oh, I can send that out to everyone if you want.
Okay, and
great.
also, Lynn, you got it from Barb Pritchard, right, about Action Network? That's where you can sign on to the letter. I can get that to Lynn and Lynn can send it out.
Thank you. Okay, so item 14, other business, closed session. I'd like to make a motion to enter into closed session pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2C21 to consider the minutes of meetings lawfully closed under this act, whether for purposes of approval by the body of the minutes or semi-annual review of the minutes as mandated by section 2.06, and that the following individuals remain present. Members of the Champaign County Developmental Disabilities Board and Operations and Compliance Board member Stephanie Howard Gallo. Thank you, Stephanie, because this involves some little bit tricky technology.
I'm gonna get the meeting set up, and then I'm gonna leave that meeting, but you can't talk until I leave.
Okay.
Oh, also, someone needs to second the motion. Yeah.
We need a second. Board members, we need a second.
I'll second it.
Okay, and then this requires a roll call, correct, Stephanie?
Right. Gail Kennedy,
Yes.
Ann Robin,
Yes.
Georgiana Schuster,
Yes.
Sue Suter,
Yes.
Deb Ruch.
Yes. Okay, so we are going to actually just close this meeting for now and then re-sign on when we come out of closed session, correct, Stephanie?
Right, just leave this meeting and sign on to the other link that you were sent yesterday. And I think it is password protected, but the password is there too. I think it's a pretty easy password.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to look for it now.
So we leave this meeting.
Yeah.
Yes, but we will come back, so don't delete the link for this meeting, because we will come back through the same link that we started this meeting with, right?
Right.
Okay.
And we'll continue recording here while you're gone.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Kim, how did it go?
I'm back. It was
Was it
perfect. I had
really?
the link to one board member, but
Right.
everybody got over there, and I hope it will go as smoothly tonight. I assigned Stephanie the host, and I said, I'm
Okay.
going to get more coffee. See you guys later. So
And then the next part, like, you know, we gotta go, fingers crossed that they all get back into this meeting, you know, because that's
hopefully.
finding the link again, which,
Yeah,
yeah.
But
hopefully.
Yay! Thank you so much for
It
figuring
worked
this.
perfectly. So hopefully tonight, you know, with
Right.
potential for 8 or 9 people,
Right.
hopefully they're able to click and get in as quickly as they can.
Yeah.
And then, because I start to get like nervous and
Right.
Stephanie, what should I do? Should I just leave and hope she joins? So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
right when I started to get nervous, she jumped on. So
This is so good. Okay. So
it
now,
might be good if like if right at like 5 Stephanie resends the link again. I don't know.
okay.
Just so everybody has it like right, you know, in the top of their inbox.
Well, that's true.
Maybe.
It's true. These
Or I could
inboxes.
even resend it right, you know, like I could also resend it right before I go join or
Like
start that
during the meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, I could start it or resend it and then start the meeting so everybody has it.
Okay,
But
good. Well, I think like in the, you know, in the future, I may be able to manage all this. I think, you know, possible that Zoom has a whole lot of capabilities that we haven't figured out yet. I think like it's maybe
yeah,
there is a way to have 2 different meetings that you're recording
I
at
think
the same time.
so.
Yeah.
I think if like you were, you know, like if you were a host on one and you were recording, and then like since Chandra's on your account now, if Chandra was a host, you know, in another one, I think it can be done that way. But
Well,
I think
we'll
we
experiment
did
with it in a less, you know, like in a when it doesn't matter, when we don't
Yeah,
have to have the
yeah.
recordings.
I mean,
Yeah.
we figured it out this
Okay.
time, so
Yay! This is so
did
good.
okay.
I really appreciated the discussion today. That was Chandra. Chandra may not be with us at the moment, but great timing. Like, you know,
Yeah.
joining us like right when we were talking. That was the most, like, that level of detail about the Disability Expo. I think we haven't gone into in a long time, and I really appreciated it. It's time. So
Yeah.
that was good.
They honed in on that, and then everything else was like, let's breeze through it.
Well, there's not a lot. I mean, everything else is going to come up later. Like, this is really just for information for potential later decisions. Like,
Oh, that mini grant option.
oh, I'm so happy about the mini grant.
Too.
I hope that the item is still available when you go.
Me too. That's what I'm worried about. I'm going to grab more coffee, but I'm still listening.
Okay.
So.
I'm going to make more coffee too, but it's loud.
That's the best idea.
But it's very loud, so I'm going to mute myself. I wish we had like entertainment. Like, maybe I should show this is still recording, so maybe we need a highly entertaining video or something.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can do that. Let me see.
You should be able to, if you find your video and then like share your screen.
Yeah. Well, my idea is to show the expo video that exists on the expo website.
Yeah.
Just for fun. It's cool. Let me see if I can actually, if I share my screen. Okay. Desktop 1. Share. It's running, even though like I wanted. Here, we want to start at the beginning. Give you sound. And full. Here we go. There it is.
I can't hear it though.
I know, I probably.
Well, I can read it. There's closed captioning, so that's perfect. Nope, down to 4. Nobody wanted to stay and hang out with us. Mark and Chandra probably feel obligated.
Sort of, yeah. We're in this together.
I thought so.
Hey, Lynn, I think I'm going to send Mark and Nicole, the evaluation team, an email
Okay.
and just
You
say,
guys can't hear this?
what?
'Cause-
No.
Oh, shoot.
No,
Because
I can hear you.
it's very loud in my ears, so I'm just going to stop sharing the screen. Those are feet. That's interesting. It was very loud in my ears, so I couldn't hear you guys talking. Sorry. And
Huh.
we are, yeah, it's gone. Okay.
Thanks.
I just thought it was, a little entertainment, but not if you can't hear it. Okay. So you're going to send an
Well,
email to Mark and Nicole?
Yeah, I think so. And just, kind of mention that we've got the briefing memo tonight that, looking for a proposal, kind of 4 points. Meeting tonight if they want to listen in. The
Mhm.
proposal, and then get on the calendar the peer-to-peer presentation at agency council, and then the annual presentation to the board in September, just so that they start. And I don't know if
Here they come.
what do you think about
So
that?
Mark, that would be great. I know that sometimes they're not ready, but it sounds like the conversation that you had with them most recently, they might be. So that would be great. If we can get all that done in July, yay!
Yeah. I mean, I just kind of like to get some sense of where they are. Oh, everybody's coming
Okay.
back. Okay.
Yes. Okay. This is such good news. Well, hopefully Georgiana will be coming back. We tried to watch a video while you all were in the closed meeting. It didn't work very well. But I thought that would be fun if I could figure out how to do that, but
Not
Maybe
quite.
earbuds. Because of your earbuds.
Oh, that could be.
I'm going
Okay.
to send the link to this meeting to Georgiana again, just in case.
Yeah. Okay. That'd be great.
Oh, Sue's in San Francisco.
I know. I've always wanted to play with this. Except
So I just got an email from Zoom that Georgiana's waiting in the other. Oh, there she is.
Comes. Here she comes.
This is the best day of my life. It worked.
Yay. You know, I was a little nervous about this, about the whole thing. I still don't understand why we have to do this part, but if Robert's rules says we do, then we do, right?
It's not Robert's rules. It's Open Meetings Act, and then cases. There's just not a lot of there are not a lot of cases to create a precedent and a clear interpretation of Open Meetings Act. So thank you for indulging us. We ran out of time to explore different ways to do it.
Okay. So we're all here. Stephanie, would you call roll?
Gail Kennedy,
Here.
Ann Robin,
Here.
Georgiana Schuster,
I think Georgiana's muted, I think.
Georgiana, Sue Suter,
here.
Deb Rush.
Here.
I don't see George. Oh, there she is. Okay. Yeah, she's still muted. Georgiana, can you unmute it?
How's that? Is that better?
Here. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. We have two motions to consider. I'm going to make a motion to approve the minutes of September 21st, 2016 closed session, open the minutes to the public, and destroy the recording. Is there a second?
I will second it. Did someone first make the motion?
Yeah, it's been, are we ready? Stephanie, we call roll for this one, right? Or do we just?
No, you can do a voice vote.
Voice vote? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The second motion is to approve the minutes of November 16th, 2016 closed session, open the minutes to the public, and destroy the recording. All in
Second.
favor? Or second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I believe we are adjourned. Is that correct?
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate it.
So Deb, is this your last meeting?
This is my last meeting, yes.
Well, then I'd like to say thank you very much. I've learned a lot from you. I've enjoyed working with you, and I hope we'll stay in touch.
Thank you. Thank you, Gail. I appreciate that very much. I'll be lurking in the shadows. Yeah, I'll be. Sounds ominous, doesn't it?
Come out.
Deb,
I'll be following along.
Right.
Deb, I want to second what Gail said. You have gone way above and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna miss you all. I really am. So thank you
We're
very
not
much.
gonna
Sorry
let
to
you
see you
go.
go.
Thanks.
Don't go far.
Oh, I'll be around. I'm not going anywhere. Barely leaving my house, let's face it. So, all right. Thank you all very much. Everybody have a good rest of the day.
You too.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Sure.
You did
Oh,
it.
wait.
The afternoon. It goes just as smoothly.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Sue.
I
See
couldn't
you
figure out
later.
how to leave.
Well, I can just end it. Should I
Oh,
just end it for us? Oh.